Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books one page at a time. Today, we're diving into something, well, truly transformative. Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements. This isn't just a book you read. It's profound yet incredibly accessible, a guide rooted in ancient Toltec wisdom. And it offers a really practical, actionable path to personal freedom and, lasting happiness.
It really is profound and so relatable, the way it unpacks this ancient wisdom. Just for context, thousands of years ago, the Toltec, they were renowned in southern Mexico, known as men and women of knowledge. They weren't just a nation, more like scientists and artists. Their society was dedicated to exploring, conserving spiritual knowledge.
Okay.
And while it's not really a religion, like in the traditional sense, Toltec knowledge is a way of life. It's distinguished by a pretty clear path to happiness and love. And Don Miguel Ruiz, he's a Nahual, he's a spiritual teacher in that tradition. He's the one sharing this wisdom that was previously kind of veiled, making it accessible now.
Right. So our mission for this exploration, this deep dive, is to unpack the core concepts, the ideas that define how we see reality. We'll peel back the layers on how we get conditioned, and then introduce you to these four agreements. They sound simple, but they're incredibly powerful. The premise here is big transforming life from what the book calls a dream of hell to heaven on earth.
It's a bold claim.
It is. But the insights are really compelling. So to really get the agreements, we have to start with the book's foundation. This idea that what we perceive is just a dream and that humans are dreaming constantly, like 24/7, even when we're awake. Is that right?
Exactly. The mind's just always dreaming. But it's not just our individual dream. See, before any of us were born, the generations before us created this. Ruiz calls it the dream of the planet.
The dream of the planet, like a collective consciousness.
Yeah, basically. Think of society's collective dream, woven from billions of smaller personal dreams. This big outside dream shapes our families, communities, countries, everything. It's all the rules, beliefs, laws, religions, cultures, all of it. And we're born with this capacity to learn how to dream, right? So this outside dream hooks our attention from day one through parents, school, religion.
And we learn how to behave, what to believe.
Exactly. What's okay, what's not, just through repetition and us agreeing to it.
Which leads straight into this concept the book calls the domestication of humans. It sounds harsh, but it's compared to training an animal, using punishment and reward.
Systematically.
So if we break the rules, we get punished, maybe just a look or a scolding. But if we follow the rules, we get a reward, attention, praise, that kind of thing. And this conditioning, it leads us really early on to pretend to be something we're not.
Right, out of fear. Fear of punishment, or maybe even more, fear of rejection.
Yeah.
Not being good enough.
Yeah. And we internalize it all so deeply that eventually we just become a copy of other people's beliefs. Like our parents, societies, we lose our own tendencies, our freedom, really.
And this domestication, it creates these really powerful internal things, mechanisms. There's the judge. That's the inner critic, using all those programmed beliefs to pick apart everything we do, think, feel.
That voice saying not good enough.
Exactly. And then there's the victim. That's the part that takes all the judge's criticism. It carries the blame, the guilt, the shame, the poor me, I'm worthless part.
Wow. It's fascinating how that mirrors modern psychology, right? The inner critic, imposter syndrome.
Totally. And this internal system, this judge and victim, it makes us pay for every mistake, not just once, but like thousands of times in our heads. Ruiz actually said something like 95% of the beliefs we hold are just lies.
95%, that's huge.
Yeah. And believing them leads to so much suffering. It traps us in what he calls the dream of hell, a state of fear, pain, constant emotional fire, anger, jealousy, envy, hate.
The introduction also uses that powerful analogy, the smoky mirror. It illustrates how perception is basically light perceiving light. Everything is one living being, God, maybe. But the smoke, that's our interpretations, our agreements, our beliefs. The Toltec call it the mitos.
Like mental chaos.
Yeah, like 1,000 different voices arguing in your head, all that chatter. And that smoke keeps us from seeing our true nature, which the book says is pure love, pure light. It's like looking in a mirror clouded by smoke.
So the core problem becomes really clear. We resist life. We get scared to just be ourselves. So we end up living to please others, meet their demands, fit their views, all because we're afraid of not being accepted, not being loved. We build this image of perfection based on outside stuff, ideals we can never actually meet. And that leads straight to self-rejection, self-abuse even. Well, it explains a lot about self-inflicted suffering.
So what does this all mean for us listening? It means a lot of our pain comes from agreements we never consciously chose. They got embedded during that domestication, trapping us in the cycle of judging ourselves, rejecting ourselves. But if the suffering comes from these agreements, how do we change them? How do we rewrite that script?
Well, that's where Ruiz offers the solution,
Hmm.
a way out of that self-made dream of hell.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, the transformational part. Don Miguel Ruiz gives us 4 powerful agreements. If we adopt them, practice them. They offer a way to break free from those old fear-based agreements, take back our personal power, and really change our lives.
And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word.
Mhm.
This one's described as the most important and also the most difficult to actually live by.
Impeccable. What does that mean exactly? Like perfect?
Not quite perfect in a moral sense, it means without sin, but specifically sinning against yourself, so not using the word, your language, against yourself. The word is seen as pure power, and the most powerful tool we have as humans. It can create the most beautiful dream or tragically destroy everything. It's either pure magic, creating love, or black magic, creating fear and destruction.
That really highlights the power of language. It's almost scary. The book gives examples like Hitler using words to manipulate a whole nation, or more personally, like if someone tells a kid, you sing terribly, or you're stupid, and the kid believes it, that word becomes like a spell, a self-limiting belief they carry for life, even if they actually have a great voice. It makes you think about today with social media.
Oh, absolutely.
What's the black magic of a careless tweet? The damage it can do.
Exactly. And it's not just direct insults. The book really hammers on gossip. Gossip is called the worst form of black magic.
Really? Worse than direct insults?
Apparently so. It's compared to a computer virus.
Yeah.
Malicious code getting into our minds. It clogs our thinking with bad information, leads to wrong interpretations. It just destroys communication. We take in that emotional poison, then we spread it, often without even realizing.
But the flip side is just as powerful, right? Using words for good, sharing love, breaking old spells others cast on us or we cast on ourselves, cleansing that emotional poison. The book says you can measure the impeccability of your word by your level of self-love.
Like a key line.
So being impeccable means transforming your mind, making it fertile for love, not fear, speaking your truth with integrity.
Precisely. And the second agreement flows right from that. It offers huge emotional freedom. Don't take anything personally. Basically, whatever happens around you, whatever people say or do, good or bad, it's not actually about you.
Not about me. How so?
It's always about their dream, their own beliefs, their programming, their stuff. Ruiz even calls taking things personally the maximum expression of selfishness.
Selfishness, that's strong.
Yeah, because it assumes everything revolves around us, that we are the target of everything.
It's such a common reaction, though, isn't it? Someone calls you stupid or criticizes your work. It feels personal. The book says that's just their emotional garbage, their view, not reality.
That's the idea. You don't have to accept that poison, that garbage.
Yeah.
Of course, practicing this is a massive shift for most people. It's not about dismissing real hurt, though.
So how do you do it without becoming, like, cold or dismissive?
Well, the gift of this agreement is immunity. Immunity to that emotional poison. Even as the book says, in the middle of hell, if you genuinely don't take it personally, you don't need to defend yourself or argue or get into conflicts over opinions. You become immune to those black magicians, people trying to send poison your way. You just don't absorb it.
Okay.
If you connect that to the bigger picture, this gives you incredible freedom. Freedom from needing external validation. It protects your inner peace.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Agreement number 3.
Number 3 is don't make assumptions.
This one hits home. We do this constantly, right? Assume things about everything, everyone, and then we believe our assumptions are true without checking, which leads to misunderstandings, drama, the bigmatote the book talks about. That mental chaos.
Yes, exactly. The book points out how much sadness and drama just comes from assuming things and then taking the fallout personally. Think about relationships. Assuming your partner knows what you want without asking.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Right. Then you get hurt when they don't deliver in your unspoken expectation. Leads to conflict. We make assumptions, the book says, because we need to feel like we understand things, to feel safe, especially when we're afraid. Afraid to ask questions, afraid to ask for what we need.
That raises a big question. How many daily fights or problems could we just avoid by asking for clarity instead of jumping to conclusions?
A huge number, probably. So the solution offered is simple, but yeah, it takes courage. Always ask questions until you are clear and find your voice to ask for what you want.
Actively seek clarity. Push past the discomfort. Dare to speak up.
Yeah. and it completely transforms relationships. Clear communication, no assumptions. That builds trust, understanding. Instead of suspicion and drama, imagine if everyone communicated this way. Clear, honest.
No wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. Wow, okay. And the fourth one?
The fourth agreement kind of ties them all together. It makes the others doable, makes them habits. Always do your best.
This one empowers the other three, helps them become ingrained, and it clarifies that your best, it's not static, right? It changes.
Exactly. It's wonderfully dynamic.
Yeah.
Your best when you're tired is different from your best when you're rested. Sick versus healthy, happy versus upset. The key is just applying yourself fully in that moment, whatever your capacity is.
And it's about no more and no less.
Crucially, yes. Doing more than your best, that leads to burnout, depletes you, actually holds you back. But doing less, that leads to self-judgment, guilt, regret. I should have tried harder.
The self-judgment trap again.
Right. There's a great little story in the book. A Buddhist monk asks his master about meditating more and more hours to reach enlightenment faster. 4 hours, then 8. The master says, basically, if you meditate 8 hours hoping to speed things up, it'll take longer, maybe 20 years. Because you're not here to sacrifice your joy. You're here to live, be happy, love. Just do your best. And maybe you'll learn you can live, love, and be happy, regardless of how long you meditate.
That's a powerful lesson in self-acceptance. It really hits home. It emphasizes doing things for the joy of it, not just chasing a reward, like the person working only for the paycheck versus someone who actually enjoys the work itself. The book even mentions Forrest Gump. He didn't have big plans, just did his best, and things worked out.
He's a great example of just doing without expectation.
And it strips the judge of its power, right? If you genuinely did your best in that moment, what's there to feel guilty about, whatever the outcome?
Exactly, and that's the healing connection. Doing your best consistently means you learn to accept yourself fully. You become a master of transformation, Ruiz says, just through repetition. You're aware, you learn some mistakes without the judgment. And slowly, the old habits fade. Misusing words, taking things personally, assuming, you just replace them with these new, empowering agreements.
Okay, so we've got the problem, this ingrained dream, the domestication, and the solution, these 4 powerful agreements. How do we actually embrace this freedom, walk this Toltec path to a new dream? It starts with breaking those old fear-based agreements, right? Reclaiming who we were before the conditioning.
That's the core of it. The Toltec view sees the judge, the victim, our whole belief system as a kind of parasite. It invades the mind, feeds on fear-based emotions.
A parasite. Wow.
Yeah. So to get free, Ruiz suggests a few paths. You can face each fear one by one. Slow but effective. Or you can starve the parasite. Control your emotions, stop feeding the fear. Difficult, but doable. Or there's the initiation of the dead, a symbolic death of the old dream. Faster, but needs huge courage, letting go of old identities.
A symbolic death. Intense.
It is. But what's fascinating here is the idea that heaven isn't some afterlife place. It's a state of mind, achievable now while alive.
Right here, right now. Okay. And the book calls this active change, the art of transformation, through the dream of the second attention.
Yes. It's not passive wishing. It's consciously, intentionally changing those old fear agreements, replacing them with love-based ones, using awareness, using repetition, choosing to believe in yourself, deciding what you want to believe now as a conscious adult.
Self-authorship, taking control of your own story.
Exactly. And this new dream, this heaven on earth, it's not pie in the sky. It's presented as totally possible, a state of bliss, love, free from conflict, free from judgment, achievable in this life. The book paints this picture, perceiving love everywhere, living without fear of judgment or rejection, taking risks.
Yeah.
Because you're not defined by others or your inner critic anymore.
It really drives home that idea that your identity is mixed with the dream of the planet. And that suffering, well, it's ultimately a choice. We can suffer our destiny or we can choose to enjoy it just by changing those internal agreements.
And if you're wondering where to start practically, the book includes some beautiful prayers, not like religious dogma, but as a way to connect, to share a strong communion of love with existence, to help embody love, gratitude. Start living that new dream by accepting yourself, accepting others. Unconditionally, it's like an invitation for that shift.
So, wrapping up, the power of these 4 simple agreements, Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. It's immense. Applying them might feel hard at first. Those old habits, the pull of the collective dream, they're strong. But consistent effort, really always doing your best with them, leads to profound change, life-altering change. It's called a warrior's path for a reason. It takes courage to face yourself. But the reward, transforming personal hell into personal heaven, right here.
And maybe a final thought for you, the listener. Consider just how much of your daily feelings, your emotional world, is shaped by agreements you made long ago, probably without even realizing it. What if you were to truly adopt just one of these agreements, really commit to it starting today? How might your relationships, your inner peace, how might your whole perception of reality begin to shift?
It really makes you think about your own internal book of law, doesn't it? The rules running your mind. And the courage it takes to challenge those deep, often unconscious beliefs. It's significant. Remember, this journey isn't about being perfect at the agreements. It's about the conscious choice, day by day, choosing to live a new dream, a more joyful one, a more authentic one.